presents the new Open Conversation Show. We live streaming live on Facebook, and we're also streaming once Mr. Divine get it together. Did you record? We ready? You stream. You can check us out on Ustream also. We're going to go into this is part 2 of today's show. We're going to go into relationships bouncing back after one has cheated. You ready? Sure. Got the drums on? All right, so let's get it started.
No.
No?
Yes.
No what? Don't go back?
Don't go back. That's a violation of trust.
But
And
people
you'll
make
never
mistakes
change.
though.
Yeah. And if I mistakenly hit you with my car, I want you to forgive me, and then we'll be even.
Well, I got a question. If you say no, what if he was just cheating?
He made the choice to cheat.
No, I know he ain't slipping falling. What if he just gave someone a kiss?
He cheated.
Okay.
I don't play with cheating. I'm sorry.
Is eating cheating?
Yeah. What? You know eating.
This show is for everybody over 18, so if your child is in front of the screen, please have them leave now.
I just needed to know because Bill Clinton said what?
Well, Bill Clinton is a damn lie.
I guess
Well, let me
this
talk
one
from-
is the
can I-
interpretation of what
I'm sorry.
sexual relationships are.
I could talk from personal experience. Bouncing back after someone has cheated. I've been in a relationship where the person has cheated on me. We're not together now, but let's say all the way before we got into a relationship, we were always best friends. Our relationship is not a relationship now. We're not together, but we're still best friends. So we bounced back after cheating, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I learned to really forgive. And when the person that has been cheated on learns how to totally forgive within themselves, that releases you. You become free. The other person is free from whatever you're still holding them to. No matter if they say I'm sorry, no matter if they apologize, no matter if they try to get back at you, no matter what the catch may be, you're the person really that's bound up when you don't say I forgive that person totally. You know what I mean? And that's the only way that I was able to totally move on from the fact of what you really did to me. You know what I mean? And look past that. So now 15, how many ever years later, we're still best of friends. We go back, we talk about it, we laugh about it, we joke about it, whatever the case may be. But forgiveness is totally forgiving the person is the only way that you free up yourself as well as free up that person. Because if you can't forgive that person within yourself, you'll be bitter, you'll be miserable, you'll be hurt. Everybody you talk to after the fact, oh, if he cheated, I don't want to be with him. Da, 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 da. There's still something that can be salvaged in a relationship. Yes, the trust issue has to be rebuilt back up, and it may take years to be built back up, but there's still a place there that says, if God forgave me, I can forgive them.
Well,
that sounds
I
good.
respectfully disagree.
I'm talking about from personal experience.
Right.
I'm talking from personal experience. It's my personal experience. And before I forgave him, every man I got in a relationship with, I held to that standard like, oh, he gonna cheat on me. I don't trust him. I don't see him. I'm telling you from my personal experience. I don't trust him as far as I can see him. Now I give men a chance. I give you a chance to slip and fall. I give you a chance for me to distrust you. You know what I mean? I see the signs before you even start playing.
You know what?
Innocent till proven guilty.
To be honest with you, I can make it sound good, but I'm not a forgiving person. I'm just totally being honest, and I pray on it. I seriously pray on it. I pray that God helps me be a forgiving person. But when it comes to forgiving, I am vindictive. I am petty. I'm all that when it comes to forgiving. But I had a I'm being honest. If y'all want to have a little conversation, we'll have a little conversation. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. So when I first met y'all, remember I had the ex-boyfriend or whatever like that. He was trying to get back with me. We remained friends, but I could never be in a relationship with you. You're a good friend, like you said, but you're a horrible mate. That's two separate things. And I told him while we were in the relationship before it got, listen, if you ever cheat, I'm leaving. He cheated, I left. I was dead
So
serious.
you're a woman of your word.
I'm a whole woman of my whole word. And I have hit people with cars before.
I don't listen. If you hurt, I'm so petty when it comes to that. You hurt my heart, I'm gonna hurt you some type of way, physically, mentally. I don't get with your money. I don't care. I'm gonna get you back, and that's so petty of me. But I'm being truthfully honest because I feel like I'm a person that all you have to do with me is be honest with me. You don't have to lie to me about nothing. If it's not working, if you want to leave, if you want to go, all you have to do is be honest. When you cheat and when you lie to me, that just runs through me. That just runs through me so bad. But back to my ex, me and him did remain friends. We never got back together because I told him that we wouldn't, but we did remain friends because he was a good person. He would come up, shovel the snow, he would do everything, but he just had a thing for women. And some men just don't grow out of that fit, like they just lust over woman after woman after woman. Some people just don't grow out of it. And it's like I can't deal with it. Like I'm too old to deal with you still less than I'm trying to do bigger and better things. And some men it's just like it's disgusting. Like it's disappointing, it's disgusting, it's just hit him with and you know what? Just hit him with your car. Like keep your insurance paid.
Between an adult male and a real.
And you know the thing about it is, I think when we went through it, whatever that is that we went through, we were much younger. And he has matured so much into a man now that for me to still hold on to a grudge from that long ago,
Who you hurt?
myself.
Amen.
But you know what? It don't hurt me because I feel like
You're like, nah.
no, because you know what? I don't feel bitter. Like I handle people accordingly. If you give me a reason not to trust you, I don't trust you. If you give me a reason to trust you, I trust you. I handle people accordingly. I don't sit up there and like, oh, I'm bitter, I'm mad. I'm not. I'm cool until you give me a reason not to be cool, and then we have a problem.
Amen, sister. Amen.
So what would be the solution when we as men deal with women who do the same thing?
No,
So
listen,
I have one. I have one, not all of them, but I have one.
No, but from the women, like, because women are really going in.
Right, and yeah.
I'm just trying
Here's
to
the
figure out.
here's the
I didn't go in.
here's the solution that I have.
Normally, that's the norm.
Normally it's y'all men dogs, this and that. But now it's equal out a little bit.
all men are
It's equal now, I think,
No,
nowadays,
listen,
as far as the cheating.
I've been cheated on. So, and
Somebody cheated on you?
of course, of course.
Wait, is your insurance paid up when you're going?
All the insurance, house and everything,
Let's run over.
you know what I mean? But see, I got to a point, see, I'm like this. They tell you that you need to forgive, and you need to forget and move on, right? Why did I say that?
That's the flavors it said.
It ain't nothing out there.
All the time.
I worship the ground she walked on.
That's it.
You understand what I'm saying?
That was
I
the
did
problem.
not know. No, I said I worship the ground she walked on. House, home, her son, all that.
That's the
all
problem.
of it. Gave her everything she wants. She didn't want for nothing.
So let me ask you something real quick, because DJ Manny strong in the back saying that's the problem. Is it that some women don't know how to appreciate when a man do everything for her?
Of course it is. Of course it is. But see,
Vice versa.
they tell you that you should forgive and you know and you forget, move on and all that. But listen, first of all, God forgives you. I'm not God. Let's get that straight right now. So we already know what the next statement is. I'm not forgiving nothing.
And how you forgive something you can't forget?
Check this out. For any reason, did you feel as though you had to go out there and do you? Then I'm cool with that. But don't bring it back to where it hurts me. Because see, now I got a problem. Because I give unto you everything that I have. My soul, my spirit, my heart, my money.
Play money, power, respect.
Right? I give you what you asked for. I give you what is required. I give you spiritually. When you take from that, you not only take from me, you slap God in his face because that's the way I was taught to do it.
That's correct.
So if you don't have no respect for God, you will damn sure have no respect for me.
That's correct.
Only 18 in the book.
But that don't mean you shouldn't forgive.
No.
We're speaking about God. God tells you to forgive.
But that's what I said. God.
But we can't claim God.
But
and
Well,
don't
but
know-
I'm not God.
But he doesn't say be a fool.
Exactly.
So therefore, when I thought about throwing her in a chipper shredder, but I didn't.
Wow.
When I thought about throwing in the chipper shredder, but I didn't.
Boy, got something to say.
I walked out the house and I left it. The whole thing. Took my car, of course, you know, I had to pay the insurance on it, but she got the house.
Oh, that's why you couldn't hit it, because you ain't taking insurance.
What? No, I got the, I took mine. She got hers.
Okay.
You know, but she got everything else too. Now, you know, cool. To this day, we haven't spoken. November 9th, 2011. We have not spoken. She lives in Delaware, and we will never speak.
She knows she was wrong, guilt make you too.
Well, real, say real quick, guilt make you
Guilt
tilt.
make you
That's
Real
right.
quick, I want to say hi to Miss Young, Miss Pritchard, Miss Jones again. She been rocking with us all.
That's right, Miss Jones.
Look,
Yeah, Miss Jones.
and they said it depends on how long the relationship was.
12 years.
No, as far as the gift.
We are living in a mess.
I'm gonna give it to you
Miss
straight,
Jones
Miss Jones.
said it's a sickness and it's a habit.
That's correct.
Who else we got? Continue to do you. She'll be back.
No,
When
she
she
won't.
realized what she lost. You said,
No.
you don't want her back.
No.
Some people never grow up. Yeah.
Yes.
That's just the bottom line. Some people never grow up. Unfortunately, some men and some women. Some women they look at it as like, I'm independent, I'm doing my own thing, I'm not gonna let a man take me down. Da, da, da. And then you got the man that says these chicks, you give them what they want, they don't really, respect it, so forth and so on. So I'll just, keep doing me, keep doing my thing, chick gonna get my pocket, all of this and all of that. And it's an immaturity in the mind that goes on, and they don't realize that at some point you're gonna have to, settle down with someone, and by the time you're ready to settle down, you don't wanna be all used and
Yes,
abused and
exactly.
different people that you done dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
See, I don't have an indictment against women. I just take each one of them individually.
Thank you.
Period.
See, that's the level of maturity a lot of folks have yet to reach.
And a lot of people will care, man, God, I had 2 marriages, one for 16 years and one for almost 12 years. I don't need to validate myself within a woman. What I want to do, what I would like to do,
That's it right there.
right? What I would like to do is to share, build, and go forward
Right.
and do all the things that, this life has to offer. I mean, you can cheat, but understand when you do that, there's consequences. We all pick our problems, but we don't pick the consequences. Her thought was that, you won't find out. Well, I'm not dumb. I ain't just fall off the truck last night.
You're always gonna find out. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Whatever's done in the
Karma
dark
is- karma
comes
is
out in the
always
light.
gonna find out.
And people, a lot of times people do not look at it, and sorry, I don't want y'all to think I'm male bashing, but a lot of men do not look at cheating and promiscuity as immaturity. Some of them feel as though, oh, I'm doing my thing, or I'm the man, and I got a car, and I got this chick, that chick, and that chick, and they don't even realize that the bottom line is having multiple partners, having multiple women means that you are not disciplined to have a commitment in the work that it puts in to be in one relationship. So therefore, it shows immaturity because you're not trusting enough, you're not mature enough to put in work in what it takes to build something real. You rather keep going with the faith, which means going around with different people that you don't have to unveil your soul. You don't have to unveil your hurts and your true pains and trust in someone to actually build with that. So a lot of people don't look at it as it's an immaturity.
And it's so different, like, I always relate everything with, like, the way times are now. Like, cheating's been going on since the beginning of times. Like, we all know that. Like, back in the day, people used to have 13 kids by their wives or whatever. But it's like, guys don't even care no more. Like, they just so sloppy, they don't care, they don't mind about sharing their bodies or whatever. And I mean, sometimes you have to be skeptical about guys who have lots of women, and I'm gonna go there. But some of the guys be like, gay. And it's like a way of them to prove to themselves, like guys with a lot of children and guys that deal with a lot of women. And I mean, I know this because I see a lot doing, with my business or whatever. But a lot of guys are like gay and they decide to be with a lot of women because it's like a cover up. Oh, you see me with all these women, So when you hear about me being with a man, like, are you serious? I got all these women. I'm not with no man. But I'm telling y'all, like that right there, the download thing is real, really, really real.
A lot of times
Yeah,
we
we gonna hit
see
it one day,
signs, a lot of times we do see signs, but because of what we want, we ignore those signs.
Mhm.
You know, Paul said when I was a child, I thought as a child, when I became a man, I put away my childish things. If you see early stages of immaturity, when you see like, you know, how can two walk together unless they agree. If you see that we're not in agreement,
There
you
you
know,
go.
or
It's
you
right
know,
there.
some things
Equally
are that's when you're unequally yoked. So that's when you sort of supposed to acknowledge these things. And then, you know, if like what Willie was saying, if you get to a point where, you know, it's a fork in the road, we gotta break the relationship, we just gotta break the relationship, you know. But don't stay there feeling like you have to stay. You know, because you don't have to stay. I was in a relationship before, and I just plain and simply, I told her, I said, listen, I think I want something that you don't want, and I'm beginning to feel like I'm less than what I am being in this relationship. So and I left. I left. You know what's funny? I was talking. I brought this up earlier. I said, back in the day when I was younger, I said, somebody told me that it was 20 women to every one man. And when you're not doing right, your woman can be part of that 20 women. So in my playing days, I wanted to see if I can get 20 women.
20 women.
And no offense to the women, and I'm not woman bashing, because it's the men's fault, but because of some of the women's self-esteem, it allows a man not to only get the 20 that's out here for him, he can get the 20 that's from the guy that's locked up.
Yeah, right.
And that's systematic in the African American culture. A lot of moms, well, I can't join that group, fall short in helping. We talk about that behind the scenes. Fall short in teaching their children how to see beauty in themselves, right? And so then we grow up to be women, and I used to be part of this, where we can't compliment each other. I pride myself on being a sister, and I said it earlier, I am my sister's keeper, and I don't have to know you to be your keeper. But if I see your slip hanging, your wig cocked eye, it's my job to say that to you, because I don't want you walking around and everybody else talking to you. But I come across so many women who are used, abused, and hurt, who can't even identify that they look good with their own stuff. They surely can't say it to someone else.
Right.
And we don't take the time to encourage. Again, we were designed to be a helpmate for a man, but not just for a man, for each other. And I am my sister's keeper. If you fall short, it's my job to step in and help you, as long as you're not using, abusing, and taking me for granted. And that's different, because then we go back to what you said, the Bible talks about being a fool.
Right.
Well, real quick, one of the posts, Miss Young posted that her girlfriend is allowing her man to cheat because she is 8 years older than him.
What does that have to do?
I don't know, but
That goes back to the self-esteem, I think.
That's her,
It's this thing with the women.
is her girlfriend's car insurance paid up.
Shut up!
It's this thing with a lot of older women. They feel like they don't want to be alone. So once you get there, settle for less. They get the guy that can go longer than 30 pumps in the dump, which is the young guy.
You know what, I gotta start writing these
No,
sayings that
no.
They're allowed
we
to go to the
dump,
nightclub, drive a car, spend
Right.
her money, as long as at the end of the night, he comes and handle what he asking him.
But you know what,
Is it
remember
separate
the
at
last
30
time we
pumps
talked about that, like, you don't.
saying that separate at 30 pumps.
Remember that time we talked about, you accept, you allow what you wanna allow?
Yeah, you allow it.
We were talking about that once before, and I'm like, you know, a woman will put up with a lot of things sometimes when she wants to, but when she says, like, I'm done, and she really means within her heart of hearts that she's done, she'll really be done. Some women, you have to think about the objective. Like, some women, that's what they want. They want sex, so that's what they get. They get sex. Some women want a companion, so that's what they get. They get a companion. It depends on where the woman is at, I guess, to see what she wants out of that relationship, and I guess that's how much she accepts or allows.
A maturity.
And some women, they can talk about I'm independent, I got this, I'm like this going on, but don't even know they worth.
I just
Well,
don't
Ms.
wanna
Jones said
Don't even know who
she
they are.
waiting
Right.
for a good man. It's still hope. There ain't no rush. And how to Miss Walker too. She rock with us on open conversation on Facebook all the
What's up,
time.
Ms.
So,
Walker?
hey, Ms.
Ms.
Walker,
Walker.
Ms. Jones,
Walker.
Michelle, Ms. Pritchard, they all then chime in on the
Yeah,
topic.
some women just don't know their worth. They don't know.
Well, the other part of it is, which we talked about earlier in the conversation, is the upbringing.
That too.
The possibility of molestation, exploiting, all different kinds of things that happen to women early on, that creates that. I gotta be the top at the top of the world. Everybody gotta see me. I gotta light up the room when I come in, and everybody knows. We all can go to a party and pick out that individual that acts that way, you know. And as females, y'all go, look at her. She up there doing like, who she thinks she is? Like, well, this is she. And nobody's ever thinking about that long-term thing that's going on with inside that sister that she's probably having. That's where she's at with it. You know, unfortunately, that's the only way she can handle it. So, you know, we stand criticized to that. Now, if you're a man in a relationship with a woman like that it takes a lot of structure to be able to deal with that.
Gotta be a
And you
strong
know
man.
But you don't want to have to hold them accountable for their past. But a lot of times, if they can't shake that, and you're in a relationship with them, you got to determine how much of it that you're willing to accept until that gets fixed.
You can't take it for granted either.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't
And
take
getting
it
back
for
on the molestation, like, y'all might be surprised, but it's a lot of males that get molested too.
granted.
A lot of males, so that can really, really mess you up in the mind as a child. You know, a lot of children get molested, they don't say anything until they get older, and just holding those thoughts, how do you handle it as a child? A child doesn't know, you know, what to do, how to act, what to say, you know, so then they grow up, and this is untreated, just like the mental illnesses that we talked about earlier, and it really has effects on your life.
And just like, you know, when children are being raised, when a young man is being raised by his mother and he watches his mother have multiple, you know, partners, then his idea of a woman is that's what a woman is a whore. You know what I mean? Multiple partners. So why should I treasure something or give respect to something? I already know what you want to do because I've seen it for years. And the same thing when it comes to the little girls watching their dads. They become, you know, they have trust issues and they're watching their father have multiple female women coming over and things like that. That builds their issues. So when they get older, they just assume that every man that they come in contact with is a cheater. So they may come in contact with a really good man, but because the history of what they've seen and what they've experienced, they don't even give a good man a chance because they're watching their every move, automatically thinking that they're going to cheat on them or there's going to be some distrust.
Does the fact of being raised in a home where you do not see intimacy, I'm not talking sex, I'm talking intimacy, because there are two parent households, right? And there is absolutely no intimacy shown between the parents around the children. You follow me?
It can be an issue. It can be an issue because that whole secure thing of showing some type of interest without physical.
No, I'm actually saying, okay, a lot of males, myself included, right? Single mom, in the project, she didn't have no boyfriends, wasn't no multiple things going on. But I saw my sister, who was 19 years older than me, with her husband in the house, right? There was no, in her house, it wasn't me and mom, but there was no intimacy shown. And then I talked to other people, you know, after I got older, and the same thing held true. There's no real physical intimacy shown between a mother and a father, or a husband and wife in the house, in front of the children. So when you grow up, what is it exactly are you supposed to take to your counterpart?
You don't know.
You don't know. I never saw my mother actually loved by a man. I mean, actually loved. The fact of coming home, doing for her, and you know, taking her out, and she get dressed up and all those types of things. I never saw that. So a lot of us, when it comes to finding one of y'all out there for us, it's OJT. It is on-the-job training. We have absolutely nearly a clue about how to do this. You know what I mean? You're scared. You're wondering, Do your underarms stink? You know what I mean? But no, in all seriousness, I'm trying to find out, is there a way that can be incorporated within relationships going forward? Because somewhere down the line, there's a disconnect. And if we don't figure this out, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Let me just say this, a lot of men and women believe that intimacy is sex.
Right.
Intimacy is not necessarily sex.
It's sex.
But one of the things,
But I just touched you, right?
Right.
But that was still intimate, right?
Right.
People don't understand intimacy nowadays. They don't realize what it actually is. I mean, if
Not the knowledge.
intimacy is like, if the same person that I
A
told
simple
you
note
earlier
on a piece of paper.
that cheated on me, if he comes into this room right now, I still get jitters in my stomach. That's intimacy for me. If I talk to him on the phone in the morning and he has a sexy voice, that's intimacy for me. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a difference in intimacy and sex, and people don't realize that there are two different things.
Maybe,
You know what's
maybe
intimate
she
for me?
had a different.
I had an intimate night the other night.
Don't tell me about the batteries.
It wasn't Netflix and chill. It wasn't the batteries. That was another night. That was another night. But it was wine. It was wine. It was iHeartRadio, oldies of course, and just sitting there having a good conversation. And that was my
intimate.
that was my intimate moment with somebody else.
Right.
You know, I have intimate moments.
But doesn't
myself,
but doesn't
No,
project.
We're gonna take a quick break and come back and talk about intimacy.
Toys.
Perfect song for that. Perfect reason.
Right?